Stranger Things launched in 2016 with a clear identity, a young cast, a supernatural mystery, and a clear 1980s aesthetic. It became a global phenomenon almost instantly, turning its actors into household names before most of them were even teenagers. But what's made the show unusual is the timeline. While most shows used to release full seasons every year, Stranger Things has stretched its 5 seasons across nearly a decade. We've watched the cast grow up in real time, from children to teenagers to adults, all while being watched and judged by the public. With that kind of visibility, controversies were almost inevitable. And between the last season and this one, the cast has faced more public scrutiny than at any other point in the show's run. Some of it is personal, some of it is political, some of it is the unavoidable reality of growing up on a global stage. And one of the cast members caught in the middle of it all is Noah Schnapp. Noah Schnapp plays Will Byers, the emotional core of the early seasons, and the character who spent most of the story on the quieter, more sensitive side of the ensemble. Outside the show, he had a similar reputation. He didn't attract drama, rarely made headlines, and generally stayed out of internet discourse, which is why the first controversy he got wrapped up in felt so unexpected. It started during the peak of season 4. Joseph Quinn, who played Eddie Munson, became the breakout star of the season. His character went viral instantly, and one of the people who publicly joined in on the excitement was Doja Cat. At the time, she tweeted, "Joseph Quinn is fine as shit." That tweet blew up, and Doja followed it with a few more comments online about how much she liked Joseph. Eventually, she DM'd Noah, who was 17 at the time, asking if Joseph had a girlfriend and whether he could put them in touch. Noah treated it like a harmless, funny moment and posted a screenshot of the DM on TikTok. It blew up immediately, gaining millions of views within hours. When Doja found out, she went live on TikTok and spoke her mind.
To be fair, this is like a kid. There's no way he's over like 21. When you're that young, you make mistakes. You do dumb shit. You make mistakes. You're supposed to do stuff like that so that you know not to do it in the future.
She seemed to be coming at it from a level-headed and understanding place, but shortly after saying all of this, she let her real feelings be known.
But the fact that Noah did that, like went and posted a private conversation between me and him, is so unbelievably like socially unaware. You know what I mean? Like that's like borderline snake shit. Like that's like weasel shit. It's just exploitative. It's like exploitative behavior.
At the time, the reaction online was split. Plenty of people felt Noah shouldn't have shared a private DM, but just as many felt Doja went too far by publicly calling out a teenager. A few days after her live, Noah posted a TikTok video to one of Doja's own songs, and in the comments, he left a message that put the issue to bed. "Guys, everything is all good. I apologized and I still follow her and love her music. No hard feelings." The story ended there, and everyone moved on, until the following year when things got far more serious. The second controversy began after the Hamas attacks in October 2023. Noah publicly shared pro-Israel posts, saying things like, "You either stand with Israel or you stand with terrorism. It shouldn't be a difficult choice. Shame on you." This caused a strong reaction, but the next clip is what really escalated things. In mid-November, a video started circulating online showing Noah in a restaurant. He was surrounded by friends, and several of them were holding or passing around stickers that read, "Zionism is sexy," and "Hamas is ISIS." The timing made everything more volatile. The conflict was dominating global news, emotions were high, and even a small moment from a celebrity carried weight. For many people, the sticker wasn't seen as a dumb joke or a careless moment with friends. It was interpreted as a political endorsement, and the backlash was immediate. When I saw this on Twitter, I was literally rendered speechless. I have no words. This is heinous. I genuinely hope his career fizzles out and dies after Stranger Things ends. He's really committed to digging his own grave. Disgusting behavior. It became one of the most serious controversies any member of the cast had faced, and Noah was forced to respond. A few days after the clip got out, he posted a TikTok saying his thoughts and beliefs had been misconstrued.
"I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued from anything even close to what I believe. I only want peace and safety and security for all innocent people affected by this conflict. We all hope for the same things, that being those innocent people still being held hostage in Gaza to be returned to their families, and equally hope for an end to the loss of innocent life in Palestine, so many of those people being women and children. I think anyone with any ounce of humanity would hope for an end to the hostility on both sides. I stand against any killing of any innocent people, and I hope you guys all do too.
As with any public apology, reactions were mixed, but overall, there was little sympathy for Noah. How does one misconstrue Zionism is sexy? What a non-apology. Nope, he's a liar. Don't believe him. He's only afraid of being cancelled. To make matters worse for Noah, his castmate Brett Gelman, who plays Murray Bauman, poured fuel on the fire in an interview with TMZ, saying Noah didn't need to apologize at all.
Noah Schnapp just released an apology saying his words, his pro-Israel stance was taken out of context and misconstrued by a lot of people. And he said, no, I care for victims on both sides. I know you've got a stake in it. Personally, I do too. What do you think about him coming out with this sort of apology and walking back things he said?
I saw nothing wrong with the original thing that he said, I will say that. He held up a sticker saying Zionism is sexy, and he said Hamas is ISIS. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and Zionism is the belief that Israel should exist.
Right.
And that's sexy to me too. I think that if you're not for Israel, you are either consciously or subconsciously engaging in anti-Semitism.
Brett's stance alienated him from much of the public and shone an even brighter light on Noah. This scandal will likely follow him for a long time, but at the moment, no cast member is under more pressure than David Harbour. David Harbour has always played a very specific role in Stranger Things. As Jim Hopper, he became the show's anchor, the dependable adult, the protective father figure, the emotional center whenever the story leaned too far into chaos. And outside the show, he carried a similar energy. He had a relaxed confidence, a dry sense of humor, and a kind of approachable charisma that made him unexpectedly popular online. For years, he was seen as the stable presence in a cast that was growing up in real time, and that image made what happened next feel like such a jarring shift. Harbour met Lily Allen in 2019 on the celebrity dating app Raya. Allen is a British singer who rose to fame in the mid-2000s and is known for hits like Smile and The Fear. Their relationship moved quickly: red carpets, magazine features, a Vegas wedding, and eventually a full Architectural Digest home tour.
Oh God. What the hell are you doing here? I mean, last time I was single and I was living on the Lower East Side. I have a family now, kids. I mean, this is so embarrassing. You look good though. Come on in.
On paper, it looked like a perfect match. The beloved TV dad and the sharp, outspoken British pop star with a long public career. But throughout the marriage, tabloid rumors kept appearing. In late 2023, Lily unfollowed him on Instagram, and reports claimed they'd been living apart for months. Then in late 2024, rumors surfaced that he had an active profile on Raya. Nothing was confirmed, and publicly, the relationship still looked solid. But suddenly, in February 2025, their divorce was announced in the press. It made headlines for a few days, and people were shocked. But without any comment from Allen or Harbour, the story slowly faded into the background. However, in late October 2025, less than 2 weeks before the press tour for the new season of Stranger Things, it reignited. Lily released an album with almost no build-up or promotion, and it became clear immediately that the entire project was about Harbour, not in a vague artistic way, but in a direct, detailed account of their marriage from her perspective way. For the public, it was the first time they heard anything that explained why the relationship had ended, and it was messy. Across the album, Allen describes Harbour asking for an open relationship. At the time, they were spending long stretches apart because of work. She was in London for theatre, and he was filming overseas. And she says the suggestion came from him as a way to manage the distance. She agreed to it under a set of clear rules, and in the album, she lays out how that arrangement eventually broke down. In one of the most talked about tracks, Pussy Palace, she sings, "I didn't know it was your pussy palace. I always thought it was a dojo. So am I looking at a sex addict? Talk about a low blow. I found a shoebox full of handwritten letters from broken-hearted women wishing you could have been better. Dwayne Reed bag with the handles tied. Sex toys, butt plugs, lube inside. Hundreds of Trojans. You're so fucking broken. How'd I get caught up in your double life?"
You know, it's a really easily told story, and you can fully understand it as it goes through the songs, and she finds that he's forming attachments with other people. There's a Madeleine that we don't know who she is.
Lily titled one of her songs after this Madeleine, and in it she sings, "We had an arrangement. Be discreet and don't be blatant. There had to be payment. It had to be with strangers. But you're not a stranger, Madeleine." It appears Harbour overstepped the terms of their agreement, engaging in multiple relationships that moved beyond the physical into the emotional. Once the album came out, UK tabloids identified one of the women as Natalie Tippett, a costume designer he had allegedly met while working on his 2023 film We Have a Ghost. Reports claimed she has a young daughter and that she believed she was in an exclusive relationship with Harbour at the time. What's worse is that according to Lily's lyrics in her song Just Enough, Harbour may have gotten another woman pregnant. She sings, "Did you fall in love with someone who isn't me? Why are we here talking about vasectomies? Did you get someone pregnant? Someone who isn't me? Did you take her to the clinic? Did you hold her hand? Is she having your babies?" All of this has painted a very nasty picture of Harbour, one that will be difficult to shake off.
It's difficult to know what he can do here.
One of his friends is quoted as saying that, because obviously he knew she was bringing out an album and this, that, the other. He said, David was certainly bracing for a catty album. Yeah. He said, but now he's furious at essentially being accused of being this skirt-chasing monster. I mean, you chase skirt, this is a monster, and the world's worst husband. And again, no one's saying he's the world's worst husband, but no one is saying he's the world's best husband either.
No.
You know, that's the issue there for David.
This is very much a middling review on his husbandry, as it were.
Exactly. This is a 3 at best.
Yeah.
What made this particularly brutal for him was the timing. The world premiere for Stranger Things Season 5 was set to take place just 13 days later, meaning Harbour was expected to appear publicly at the exact moment he would have preferred to stay out of view. And things only got worse. A few days before the premiere, reports emerged claiming Millie Bobby Brown had filed a harassment and bullying complaint against Harbour before filming began on Season 5. The initial story came from the Daily Mail, which cited an anonymous source claiming there were pages and pages of accusations, and that the investigation went on for months. Sources with knowledge of the situation confirmed to Variety that there was an investigation into Brown's complaint, and that it was resolved. The complaints were reported to be non-sexual in nature. Netflix did not comment on the allegations, and neither Brown nor Harbour addressed them publicly. When the November 6th premiere arrived, Millie and David appeared together on the red carpet, smiling and hugging for photographers. When asked about the allegations, co-creator Ross Duffer told The Hollywood Reporter, "Obviously, you understand I can't get into personal on-set matters, but I will say we've been doing this for 10 years with this cast, and at this point they're family, and we deeply care about them. So, nothing matters more than just having a set where everyone feels safe and happy." In the days that followed, as the wider press tour began, Harbour was absent from several cast interviews he had consistently taken part in during previous seasons. His absence stood out, and although some insiders attributed it to a busy filming schedule, the timing felt convenient. This level of negative press is new territory for Harbour, but for Millie Bobby Brown, it's something she's been dealing with for years. Millie Bobby Brown plays Eleven, the face of Stranger Things from the very beginning. She joined the show at 11 years old, and by the time the first season finished airing, she was one of the most recognizable young actors in the world. So much attention from such a young age was both a blessing and a curse, because while she became the show's breakout star, she also became the most dissected. As the show got bigger and the cast made more and more public appearances, a narrative began to form around Millie, framing her as rude, overconfident, or attention-seeking.
That's our one problem.
Hold on, let me talk, Millie, let me talk. Millie, let me talk.
No, hold on.
1 second.
Now I'm gonna start talking.
Hey, shut up, Noah.
Videos like Millie Bobby Brown in real life is so rude, and no one likes Millie Bobby Brown racked up millions of views, with many more pushing the same idea. Critics claimed she stole the spotlight from the other kids, interrupted them, and tried too hard to be the center of attention. Some people defended her, but most didn't. And in the middle of all of this, everyone seemed to forget she was still just a child.
When I was little, I went on a press tour, and I have 4 incredible boys that I work with.
Yeah.
And we would do press tours together and sit there. And I would get really excited because I have so much to say. And then I would be like, oh God, and I would talk over them. And they would also talk over me. But it was kind of like we were 12.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely so heavily bullied by the media for doing it. And I never spoke again in interviews because I just didn't want to even acknowledge the fact that I was even in the interview. So I would just sit there deer in the headlights.
The overall hate storm was overwhelming, but this was just the beginning of her troubles. When Millie turned 14, another controversy emerged. In a 2018 interview with Access Hollywood, she mentioned that she texts with Drake, and that he sometimes gives her advice about boys.
What about your relationship with Drake? Tell me about your friendship. How did this all come about?
I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. We just text each other the other day, and he was like, I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more. He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm definitely going to go and see him. I'm so excited, yeah.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys, he helps me.
What?
Yeah, he's great. He's wonderful. I love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
Online, people questioned why a man in his early 30s was messaging a minor, and even worse, telling her he misses her. Headlines appeared everywhere, framing it as an inappropriate relationship. In her frustration, Millie pushed back. She posted an Instagram story saying, "Why you gotta make a lovely friendship your headline? You guys are weird, for real. I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life. You don't get to choose that for me. It's nice to have people understand what I do. Now get back to talking about real problems in this world other than my friendships. Jeez." Once again, Millie found herself at the center of a controversy she had no real control over. From there, the public conversation around her only got more complicated. She kept growing up, taking on more work, and building a life outside the show, getting married, adopting a child, leading a successful film franchise with Enola Holmes, and running her own cosmetics and clothing brand with Florence by Mills. At 19, when most people are only just figuring out who they are, Millie had already built an entire adult life. But while her real life moved forward, the commentary didn't. The internet still talked about her like she was the same kid from the early press tours, and every new interview or appearance was judged through that old lens. Some of the commentary was brutal, not just from anonymous accounts, but from established podcast hosts and creators.
Like, Bobby Brown's kind of a bitch. We thought so. So we were thinking. So we watched Hot Ones, and we're like, she's probably kind of a bitch. She kind of seems like she's a bitch.
Any expression of confidence or personality from her could trigger backlash, even when she wasn't doing anything unusual. Her British accent became a talking point too, shifting as she spent more time in the US, but treated online like she was putting it on or trying to sound a certain way. On top of that, her appearance became its own ongoing narrative. Every red carpet outfit, every photo, every styling choice was treated as evidence she was trying too hard to look older or aging too fast. The Millie Looks 40 meme cycle became one of the defining talking points around her, with people dissecting her makeup, hair, and clothes as if they were diagnosing something deeper. During her 2025 Call Her Daddy interview, she addressed all of this directly.
I know that obviously people say that I look a lot older, like, you know, that's like a thing that I get a lot. It's like, oh my God, she looks like 40. And I'm like, well, yeah, you did meet me when I was 10. So I'd understand now I'm 21. It's been 10 years. She grows. My face like grew, you know, I don't know what do you want me to do about that? That and like my accent thing and like, you know, I think people like to pick on certain things that I say and do. It got to me, and I remember trying to change myself to please the masses.
She became a victim of her own success, like so many child stars before her, and it's only now that she's learning how to deal with it. After nearly a decade, Stranger Things is finally coming to an end. For the cast, it marks the end of a chapter that's defined their childhoods, their careers, and their lives. But the controversies, the scrutiny, and the mistakes, they're all part of the story now. A story most of us won't be forgetting anytime soon.